Can you dream of a world immune to cancer? Hello everyone, my name is Nick and I'm the host of the annual Livestream for the Cure, where content creators and podcasters from around the world join me to raise money for the Cancer Research Institute and immunotherapy research, which is training the body's immune system to fight against all forms of cancer. Over the past 7 years, thanks to the power of indie podcasters and the indie podcasting community and listeners just like you listening to this right now, we have raised over $90,000. And as I record this now, the 8th annual Livestream for the Cure is barreling down upon us really quickly in just about 2 weeks. So join us please from May 29th through June 1st for 48 hours of amazing content from people all over the world and help us fight for a world immune to cancer. I'll now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Thank you so much. And together, we can make a difference.
Your host, Parker, Dan, and Angela slice and dice their way through the good.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
The bad.
You brought the devil!
That's the devil inside our room.
And the ugly movies you love.
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it!
Hold your favorite films and franchises tight, because they aren't safe. In fact, it's already too late. It's time to dissect that film.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dissect That Film Podcast, a podcast that dissects the good, the bad, and the ugly of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-host, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
So we are now in our final week of our titled Reptile Month, and we let our wonderful patrons choose between a couple of movies, and this wonderful one won, and that is 1980's Alligator.
It lives 50 feet beneath the streets. It's 36 feet long. It weighs over 2,000 pounds. And it's about to break out.
You're looking at the one who saw it. And it was big.
You said it was dark. Now, perhaps you were mistaken. An alligator half that size would starve in a week.
He kept coming up with some garbage about alligators in the sewers.
Alligators in the sewers?
Once it escaped, there was no way to stop it.
The safety of the public is my job.
It could be anywhere.
There he is.
Ready to attack at any moment.
You know, I've seen what this animal can do. You'd better take all the help you can get.
Keep coming. At first, no one believed it. Now, no one will forget it. Alligator.
What do you remember the choices on the poll?
It was this. It was, oh geez, what, I don't remember what the one Angela picked out. It was some weird sci-fi channel movie. It was
Terraconda?
Pterodactyl horror. I don't remember.
Was it pterodactyl?
I don't.
Oh, because it was.
I think it was pterodactyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna pick Dino Croc versus Super Gator.
That's right, because I picked Carnosaur. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So
Which
this is part. Okay.
speaking of
Good job, guys.
Carnosaur, I mean, this as we're recording, the great Roger Corman has passed away. 98 years old. Man had a life, man. And he really changed the kind of the structure of filmmaking, and just kind of going out there and just doing what you want to do and make it whatever you want to make. And we've talked about him a few times on the show. We actually was in one of the movies we covered. He was in Silence of the Lambs, but he also was the man behind the original Little Shop of Horror back in the 60s, and many more films down the line. But Roger Corman was the big man behind Carnosaur, so it kind of sucks that we didn't get that one. But this movie was very much influenced by Corman. It wasn't a Corman movie, but it was influenced by Corman in a way. So I feel like a little tribute to Roger Corman here.
Yes.
So
and on that note, we're actually recording on Mother's Day too.
We are. So happy Mother's Day we're recording. This will be out like 3 weeks from when you hear after Mother's Day, but happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, and get your wife a nice thing like we did. We bought my wife a fridge.
It's right here.
Oh,
take from that what you will.
Okay.
No, we bought her a mini fridge right here.
Oh,
it's like at a shot because we miss Adam's fridge, so we bought our fridge. Bought her a fridge.
All right, there we go.
And actually, this usually when she does her drinks is when we record, so she has a fridge to store her drinks down here,
so I can drink more.
More drinking, more fun.
Yes.
For the content.
So we got to thank our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/dissect that film for choosing Alligator as our final movie of May. Right? That's when this will come out? Yes, May.
Yes. Thank you, you industrious little people.
Yes, thank you so much. So, Alligator was released November 14th, 1980. It was directed by Lewis Teague, who directed other films such as Cujo, Stephen King flick there, Cat's Eye, which is also a Stephen King. That was an anthology movie, I believe, but it was based on Stephen King stories, I believe. Jewel of the Nile, which I think was the sequel to... Wasn't that a sequel to another Michael Douglas movie that kind of was similar? The hell is the movie?
Fuck, I don't know.
Romancing the Stone. It was the sequel to Romancing
Damn
the
it.
Stone. The Dukes of Hazzard reunion. Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
And that's about it.
At least he did some stuff.
Yeah. We also have the screenplay and story written by John Sayles, who wrote such prominent movies such as Piranha in 1978, The Howling in 1981, The Brother from Another Planet. I don't know what that movie is, but that sounds great. He's an uncredited writer for Apollo 13.
Really?
Yeah. And he wrote the Spiderwick Chronicles in 2008. Yeah. There you go. It stars Robert Forster as Detective David Madison. Robert Forster, who I only knew from stuff like later in his career. Like I knew him from Breaking Bad, from Better Call Saul. He had some bit parts in those. He also played Tim Allen's dad in the Last Man Standing, which was Tim Allen's show after Home Improvement. And also Robin Riker, who plays Dr. Kendall. She also showed up in an episode of that show, so I thought that was pretty funny.
That's pretty neat.
That's how I know Robert Forster. I didn't really know him much for the movies he was in. I always knew he was in this one. But yeah, he was always TV for me. Robin Riker, she was mostly known for like soaps. She did, I think, Bold and the Beautiful. She did a lot of TV in the 90s, the Gregory Hines show. Shows I literally have never heard of before. She showed up in like Malcolm in the Middle, Boston Legal, Justified. We have Michael V. Gazzo as Chief Clark. A lot of TV stuff, a lot of just he was in Last Action Hero, Kojak.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of that. He's got a long history. Dean Jaeger as Slade. Which one was Slade?
He's the old motherfucker that owned the pharmaceutical company.
That's right. Sidney Lassick as Luke Gutchell. Who the hell is
Get him
Luke?
into Gutchell.
Oh, that was the pet store owner.
Yep.
Jack Carter as Mayor Ledoux. Perry Lang as Officer Jim Kelly. And Henry Silva as Colonel Brock. And an uncredited performance by Jason Voorhees actor himself, Kane Hodder, as he played the in-suit performer for the Alligator.
Hell yeah!
Oh, dude, we have to have him sign Alligator.
Damn it, now we gotta
Son of a bitch.
Isn't that
I
awesome?
like it.
That's so cool. So this movie was very much made very closely to Jaws, like the way that it was done. So they had a massive mechanical alligator that didn't work a lot of the time. So they had to try to film around the fact that it didn't work. So that's why you have a lot of shots that are in the first person for the alligator. And you have a lot of actual alligator footage that they just put with miniatures, which, to be honest, look actually pretty good for the budget that they had. This movie had a budget of $1.7 million, and it made almost $7 million at the box office. So it did pretty well. It got a sequel, but it was direct to video, and I've heard nothing good about it. But I do want to check it out because it is on Shudder, and I'm always curious about sequels to movies like this. So
it's also on Tubi.
Oh, all right. There you go.
That's actually where we watched this, was on Tubi and on the sequels there too. And the sequel's PG-13. They dumb it down.
Huh.
Don't do that.
Well, that's
shit.
the thing is this movie really didn't. This movie I don't think needed to be an R. I think the only reason it got an R is they said fuck a couple times, and you see like a partial nip.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right.
There's a little bit of gore a few times in it. They would have probably toned down and got a PG-13 rating.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I mean, I think I've seen worse. I mean, I think I don't know. I feel I've seen worse. The mechanical alligator, after this movie was finished, was donated to the University of Florida to be its mascot for a few years. It actually would walk around before football games, and the actual mascot would ride on top of it.
That's dope as shit.
It's so
dude.
dope. As a Gator fan, I love that shit. Is crazy. I never knew that. That's some wild history. But the man behind the creation of the animatronic alligator was also the man behind Jaws, behind Bruce the shark. One of the men behind Bruce. His name is Richard Helmer. So that's pretty cool. How that's another link to Jaws. And also, this is very much a Jaws clone if you think about it, just with an alligator. Which I love it. Give me all these Jaws clones, man. I love when people get like annoyed. It's like, it's just another Jaws movie, just a different animal. So fucking what?
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, it was
killing
cool.
animal movies. Leave it alone.
So like the inspiration behind this movie was John Sayles was influenced by the urban legend that, I mean, I feel everyone in the world is heard about alligators being flushed down the toilets of like in New York City or these big cities, and then they were just living in the sewers. And there was always the legends of people going down there. Like there was always people who worked in like the sanitation department would go down there and come back with stories that they've seen them, or they see the eyes, or all these ridiculous legends. I don't know if I think they've found a couple down there over the years, but not enough to make it like it's happening a lot, guys. But I thought that was
cool. There's not like this like superhuman or super beast gator at all or nothing.
Right.
It'd be sweet, but no.
So he took kind of that urban legend, but he also was like, what if we made it so it was like ingesting something that was making it larger than what a normal alligator would be, which is kind of ironic that we're talking about animals that are vastly bigger than their actual counterparts. As we talked about, oversized Komodo dragons last week, and now we're talking about a very, very oversized alligator. Also, the fact that this alligator is very aggressive, where alligators can be aggressive, but not at the state that this one was, man.
No.
This one was roided out.
Oh, yeah.
Got to church it up for Hollywood,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Another really cool fact, Bryan Cranston worked on this movie. He was a special effects assistant, and he was in charge of making and rigging the alligator guts for the film's finale.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you,
That's
Bryan
cool.
Cranston. We just got to get everybody to sign Alligator, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, like, Bryan Cranston worked on this movie, which had Robert Forster. Robert Forster would later go and be in Breaking Bad, which stars Bryan Cranston. You got all these like interweaves. It's fucking great. It's so
Gotta have a
good.
connection,
I love
man.
it. So yeah, that's kind of the basic stuff for behind the scenes. It got a 4K Blu-ray in 2022. So Scream Factory did it. So if you want the 4K of this movie, check it out. I was gonna snag it. I'm waiting for a sale, and then I'm probably going to.
It's on sale right now.
For how much?
$20.
Oh shit! It wasn't when I was gonna buy it the last time, so
Yeah, I looked. I was like, oh, I wonder how much this is. I was like, $20. It's like,
it would have been too late for me anyways. But that's
fuck.
fine.
Yeah, I know. It's there. It's there.
Parker's like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go buy it.
I think it's on the official website. So
okay. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for the behind the scenes stuff. So now, let's hop in to the plot. Are you ready? It is time to dissect that film.
Film.
Oh, hi.
I was actually in on that one. I didn't need to buy a truck.
Don't worry, we got to practice once before this. Wink.
So this movie opens to an alligator show where a guy is doing a terrible job at being an alligator wrangler because he is in the water when the alligators are not in the water, and it's not good to be in the water. Also, he tries to get out of the water and he steps on two logs that shouldn't even be there. If this man needs to walk around this facility or this area without any hindrance or any way for him to fall, probably don't put two logs right next to each other for him to step in between, for him to trip, and then an alligator grabs onto his leg and does the death roll, which this man's leg should have been just torn off or in really fucked up condition. And
Well, the prosthetic that showed on screen was, but his leg not so much.
No, he kind of like hobbled away, like it was just like, I just got bit. Oh god.
He'll be back on his feet in a couple weeks. Like, no, he fucking won't.
1 foot.
I love the little girl though in the crowd. She's like, turn on his back, it'll fall asleep. And I'm like, nope, that's not how alligators work. That's a shark.
No,
that's why.
Yes.
And clearly no one cares that this man is getting attacked by an alligator. The guy on the other speaker is like, oh, no, he's got people there. He seems okay. All right. Thank you, Jim. Good job.
Nope, they're out there eating their popcorn.
This man almost
watching
died.
the show.
The one mom in the audience, the fake blood isn't necessary. Like, dude, I don't think this is fake.
No, the daughter said.
movie,
No, the
ma'am.
daughter said that. She's like, I don't think this is fake.
That's not fake.
Yeah.
So as we know, this is 1980. So back in those days, these alligator farms would sell baby alligators to people. Like you could literally buy a fucking alligator. So this girl gets to pick one. She names it Ramon. She sets it up in a tank and all that. And then the dad comes home one day all pissed off because the alligator took a shit behind his closet or behind his dresser or something. I was like,
how did it get out?
There's no way the alligator got out of that tank. That's not alligators, especially one of that size. I mean, I've seen videos of alligators climbing fences. I've seen alligators do some things that I just didn't imagine them doing. But a baby alligator in a tank that's probably, I don't know, what is it, like a foot and a half?
Yeah.
This alligator's probably only like 8 inches long.
And there's nothing for it to grab onto. Like
No,
a fence
it's
that's got
glass.
things that can put some grippers.
Right.
Yeah, not to mention, what I want to point out is how shitty that tank was set up for that fucking gator.
There was no water.
It was terrible. I don't even keep alligators. And I can tell you that is not the proper way to keep an alligator, like a baby alligator in a tank.
No. For one, this is why the whole urban legend started, is like people just, they were buying these things and they weren't prepared. Like that's the craziest thing is you do realize these things get huge. Like alligators, average size alligators, like 12 feet long. Like that's a big fucking animal. Like, what are we doing here?
This one's bugs.
Did the mom asked her, what are you going to do when it gets bigger?
Donate it to a zoo.
Yeah, I'll donate to a zoo.
I mean, I guess
People
that's a
just
good
don't think
idea. I guess that's a.
But how big does it have to get before she starts thinking
It's not
about
fitting
that?
in that tank no more, because where the hell is she gonna put it? They got a pool I can keep it in. Oh.
No, they'll eat the other kids. It's fine.
Yeah. So this is when we get the dad grabbing the alligator, which looks like they actually used a baby alligator this whole time.
Yeah.
It's flopping around in his hand, and he flushes it down the toilet. And we get the little baby alligator's journey through the pipes until it lands in the sewer. And now it is 12. Oh, go ahead.
I just said plop. That's it.
Lands in the poop deck.
Like poop.
I just love where it's just like, all right, this is my life now.
Yep, pretty much. That's
all right. Gotta go. So it is now 12 years later, and we meet Robert Forster, whose character's name is Madison, which I didn't get for most of the movie until they just said his name 55 times in like a scene.
I don't want to talk to Madison.
The chief's so great. So he's buying a dog from a pet shop owner, and the craziest thing is he talks about the fact that he had a dog before and it was just like taken. It was just like someone came by and it just disappeared, and he doesn't know where it went. So he's buying a new one. He buys this dog for $16. You can't buy a dog for $16 anymore.
No,
that's wild. Also, it's kind of like foreshadowing because he's telling it to this pet store owner, and then you find out the pet store owner is probably the one who stole his dog.
Oh, 100%.
Also, this is when we get the first hairline comment, which originally these lines weren't in the script, but I guess John Sayles was really pushing it, and Robert Forsters like, yeah, sure, why not? I already know it's there, so let's go.
Yeah, like I knew that was 100% a thing he was dealing with in real life, like during the recording the film. They're like, let's integrate this shit. It's a nice little touch.
So I love where he's at. He asked the guy like, "What do I need to do for like?" He's like, "Oh, for the first 3 weeks, just hide your shoes." And like, all right,
it's teasing.
Yeah. So he then is called to a crime scene where they find body parts, and they also found a dead dog, and they find out that the dog was like supposed to be, was it a Lhasa Apso? Which are small dogs, but it's actually like the size of a Great Dane now. They're like, that doesn't seem normal. What's going on here? Also, where's the rest of this guy?
Yeah, I know. Didn't we just get an arm at first for this one, or was it a leg?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
It was either an arm or a leg. I know it was an arm because it's the pet shop owner who gets who they find his leg.
He pulled the pencil out of his watch.
Oh, that's right.
He was a working man.
Mr. McGregor.
And so
leg for an arm and an arm for a leg. Shit. Anyway.
So we find out that the pet shop owner is just stealing dogs around the neighborhoods and bringing them to this local like laboratory that is doing tests on animals.
It primarily have to be younger dogs, like puppies and stuff.
Yeah, he's not stealing puppies. He's just nabbing dogs.
He is. He's just nicking dogs left and right.
So they continue to investigate the body that is found. We found out the guy's name was Ed Norton, which I thought was funny because that they actually named the guy after the dude from the Honeymooners.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just think of Edward Norton, but this was before his time. He is then the pet store owner is in charge of getting rid of the dead animals from the lab. And he brings them to the sewer, and he's like dumping them, and he dumps one of the dogs, but it doesn't go into the water. And I'm just like,
fucking flops on the concrete.
But in my mind, I'm like, what? Is it so that like there's no evidence that they're dumping dogs down there, that he needs to go down there and put the dog actually in the water? That's what I was saying. I was like, what is this guy doing? I mean, this is shitty. I would be like, no, I'm good, thanks. But he goes down there to put the dog into the water, and then he sees that the waterway is blocked off, and he's trying to clear it, and that's when he gets attacked. You don't see what attacks him, but you know.
Yep. Homeless people.
Just a fucking swarm of them.
We're going to eat that dog.
Tearing him apart like a zombie.
Yep. That's how homeless people are.
Jesus Christ.
You're so rude.
Just a joke, dude. Relax.
So then they find more body parts. They find a leg, and then they find the guy's shirt, and that's when Madison's like, "Hey, I know that guy." And so he goes to the lab to question the lab worker. What?
Yeah, keep going. You're going to it. Keep going.
Also the fact is he knows that the leg and the arm or the two legs don't match. I think they found another leg. I can't remember. The body parts didn't match because of the way that they cut their toenails.
Yes.
That was weird. I was like, this one cuts it square, the other one rounds them. I'm like, all right. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, why would you cut
because if
one
you're
one
going
way
to
and
do
one
it,
the other?
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, he goes and talks to the lab guy, and this is a tough one where he's talking about like, hey, what do you do to quiet the dogs down since there's so many? Oh, so no, we just cut the larynx and then makes them a lot more quiet. I was like,
Somebody mentions that too, because didn't the dog they find that was dead have its larynx cut too?
Yeah,
and all of its insides were missing. Yeah, because that was his cue, the connection. But no, I was gonna say there was the one scene. One time it's like how they can identify bodies with very little. So one time we just found a big toe, not the rest of him. But we identified him. We've had a funeral and everything. That must have been a really small casket. It was like dark humor. I loved it.
That was good. So we then meet the head of what is this company? Is it like a pharmaceutical company?
I think it's Slade Pharmaceuticals.
Okay. But we meet Mr. Slade,
I think.
who is kind of he's that guy. He's that head of a company who will do whatever he needs to do. He's got all these people under his wing. You know, he's got the mayor in his pocket. He's got kind of the police in his pocket, but he's going to take care of it. And this is kind of how it all unravels. It's literally Slade versus Madison in this movie. So Madison is then in charge of doing a press conference for the events, and we're talking about murders. And then the stupid ass reporter has to bring up his past from his prior job. He worked in like St. Louis, and his partner got shot. And it's like, okay, here we go. We're gonna have this subplot or whatever thrown in here for me to go, oh yeah, it's tough ride for this guy. Like, all right, man.
I need to confirm something with you. Watching this movie, this takes place in St. Louis, does it not?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, the reason I'm asking
is there's Missouri license plates on all the cars.
There's Missouri license plate gets found when What's Her Nuts shows them traveling from after getting the baby alligator going home. It's Missouri. They mention St. Louis, where she is, and then later on they say, "Hey, here is ex professional or ex doctor, leading reptile expert who happens to be a native to here." And we know grew up here, and we know she's from St. Louis, Missouri, or at least Missouri. I think it takes place in St. Louis, Missouri.
So, according to Wikipedia, which you got to take Wikipedia with a grain of salt, Chicago. It says that the girl, so the girl in the beginning is from Chicago. So I'm guessing this movie takes place in Chicago. But I think what happened was that they couldn't, when they were doing the movie, they didn't want to they couldn't get enough like Illinois license plates to put on the car, so they're just like, maybe people just won't realize it.
No, maybe that's it. I don't know. That's fair.
But yeah, so his past gets brought up, and it's just like, all right, we're done with this conversation. This is when we get a second hairline comment, but it's from the desk cop. He's like, you need a stylist. You know, you just need to do some stuff up there and get that thing off. He's like, oh, thanks. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, right.
And then a dude comes in, and he's like, I killed them. I did it. It was me. And then you find out he's got a bomb strapped to him. And you find out it's like, so was it a bomb or wasn't it a bomb?
No, it was a radio with a timer.
Yeah, it was just a radio, right? But so we'll get to it later on, because that's like the end of the movie. But I'm a little confused. But I feel like the clarification will be there. So yeah, I love how they take this guy down. It's so funny.
He's like, "You want to blow the place? Go ahead. I was checked out last week."
He's like, my wanting to be a cop kind of ended last week, so go for it, buddy.
Yep. And then Kelly grabs him.
Yep. So Madison and Kelly, they go down to the sewers to explore. Kelly just disappears. And so you think he's dead. You think like he got taken by the gator for a while, and then you get a butt squeeze jump scare. He like fucking grabs his ass. He's like, "Oh, Kelly!" Like, and then they don't even mention it anymore. It's just like, it happened. Let's move on. There was no like, what do you grab my ass for? Like, what is happening here? I don't know you very well. Yeah, like how well did he know this cop? Like,
someone's a touching my butt.
Yeah, in the dark, but like. That's the last place you want to get your ass grabbed is the middle of the sewers, dude.
But they're in like the same spot that the pet store owner got attacked. And
yeah.
This is when also I did like the fact that they're like exploring, and there's like a quick pan shot where like the light passes and you can see the alligator's head. Like behind them.
It's one of my favorite shots in the movie because they're like, look at the map and the light shines behind you. You just barely see it real quick and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
Very cool.
Because it's not like usually when that shot's done in movies is they like hold on it too long. Like, guys, it's there. See, it's right there. Like, no. It's just a real quick. And then you get like some time before any payoff. Which is great.
So, yeah, they pretty much are trying to clear out the stuff in that like little channel there, and the alligator comes out and they run away, and they're trying to go up through one of the manhole covers, but he can't get it open. And this is when the alligator gets Kelly and drags him away. And this sets off a whole other series of like PTSD for Madison going forward because he just can't stop having dreams about it. And
his partner's getting killed, and he'll never get Kelly's carpet and furniture ever. Nobody's gonna get that joke, but my wife and I. But that's okay.
So he wakes up in a hospital. And clearly there's nothing wrong with him. Like, I mean, I'm guessing there's a lot of things psychologically wrong with him after witnessing his partner just get taken away and killed.
No.
But the fact is he wants to leave, and they're like, "You can't leave. We have to do all these things." And he's like, "What? I'm fine. Like, I'll be all right. Do I have any injuries? Is there any injuries here? No. I just saw a fucked up thing. I gotta go." So they visit the herpetologist, was it Dr. Kendall, Dr. Marissa Kendall?
Yes.
Now this is the funny thing about this movie that I realize is the connection that she has with the alligator, but she never finds out in this entire movie that this alligator is the one that her dad flushed down the toilet 12 years before. Never.
Yep.
It's all her fault.
So
Ramon.
So I feel like you could have made her be anyone. Like she could have been a dog, like just completely different name. She has no connection to this alligator. I mean, whatever. It's fine. It gives us some sort of connection, but I think it would have been cool if she like somehow found out. I don't know how that would work. It's just not like
the alligator's got a necklace. It just says Ramon. He just happened to eat somebody named Ramon, but like it somehow got around his neck when he was younger and it never came off, just as Ramon. Like, oh, it's the sign.
So of course they're talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, alligators, they can't get that big." Yeah, it's like the biggest one they've caught is a 15-footer, which I think is bigger now. I think it's like the biggest alligator caught in the wild is like 18 feet, something like that, which is pretty big for an alligator. But did you notice something in the scene, Dan, that I know? The same thing that I noticed. So she is milking a venomous snake, and then when she comes around the corner to put the snake back, it is a garter snake. It is
I didn't even look. I didn't
completely different snake. And I get why they did it, because of course they wouldn't have her actually holding. I'm guaranteeing when they're showing the shot of her milking the snake, they don't show her head. So it's definitely not the actress. It's a professional, but they needed her to hold a snake to put it back. And so they're like, this is a good one. These are found everywhere. Hold this.
Most people don't know the difference. Like, it's a danger noodle. Like, no, it's not.
Nope, rope.
I only noticed because I used to catch the shit out of those snakes when I was a kid.
Yeah, of course. I saved a turtle today. Just not super relevant, but I saved one today.
It is relevant. It is reptile month, and you saved
That's
a
true.
reptile. Good job.
I
Danny.
stopped.
We saved a snapping turtle on Friday.
Yeah, you saved a snapping turtle on Friday. I saved one a little bit before a baby snapping turtle, and then I was going to pick Victor up, my son up from his girlfriend's house, and I just drove and I was like, oh shit! It was like right in the middle of the road, and I really quickly like looped to a parking lot, and like 4 or 5 cars went by. I was like, please don't hit the turtle, and I got it. And it hit the grass, and just bolted.
I saved a baby snapping turtle last summer. We go to
Nice.
we go to a pool, and the kids are like swimming in the pool, and they're like, oh, there's something in there, and I look, I'm like, what is it? And it was a little tiny, it was a baby snapping turtle like this big. So I picked him up and I put him in the grass on the other side of the fence so that he wouldn't go back to the pool. I'm like, oh well, his nest is near here, so expect some more.
Yep. Look, I found this huge snapping turtle. Here you go, boy. Play with the kids.
Oh man, I remember my dad. It was kind of similar situation that you had, where we're driving back to my dad's house, and there was a snapping turtle in the middle of the road, and cars are just running it over, like they're just driving over it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Go around. And my dad literally, when you grab a snapping turtle, you have to be very careful where you grab it, because snapping turtles' necks can extend pretty far out, and they can like whip their head backwards and shit. And you don't want to get bit by one, because they will take your fingers off. But literally, like grabbing it and like trying to drag it across the road to get to the grass, and it's like fucking flailing around.
Yep.
Yeah, they're
I found
crazy,
some.
man.
Yeah, I found some big ones. We have the regular garden variety.
Yeah, that's what we have here.
Yeah, you occasionally get alligator snappers, and they're
those are cool looking, man. I love those.
They're fucking sweet.
Those are
big.
dinosaurs.
Is that the one that we had in the box?
I don't know. No, this one was the alligator snapper. I found it
was huge.
Yeah, they're huge. I would never pick that. I think snappers. I try to get them around the rear flanks and drag them off the road.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk losing a digit.
No thanks.
The one we saved Friday kind of did a faceplant. Because it kept throwing its head back, and it threw its head back right as my boss nudged it with her foot, and it just went face planted. It was great.
We're trying to help you. That's what you get for being a bitch.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So save turtles.
Yes,
but be careful when you're doing it.
So we get a lot of newspaper articles in this movie. They're just like showing like everything that's going on. So it's like, Madison loses another partner. I'm like,
number 2.
And I love it because he's pretty much talking about how there's an alligator, like he saw an alligator, and no one believes him. He's like, what? That's just an urban legend. Like, did you see it? He's like, yeah, I saw it. He's like, did anybody else see it? It's like, well, yeah, the only other person who saw it is not here with us. So I guess I'm crazy. He like opens up his locker, and in the locker room, and there's like an alligator toy hanging from there, and you got the guy reading the article out loud. And then when he hears Madison, he stops, and then when Madison leaves, he continues reading it. This is when the reporter talks to the nurse, and he finds out about the story about like him thinking he saw an alligator down the sewer. So he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go down there by myself. And I'm like, that's gonna not end well for you, buddy.
No, you'll be eaten by the homeless. The alligator doesn't have a home. All right, I'm just saying he doesn't, or she. It's good.
So he gets attacked, and I do like how he's getting attacked as the camera is going off. I thought that was pretty
like
cool.
Jaws.
It's Jaws 2. It's 100% Jaws 2. They definitely took it from it.
Yeah, this was not a misunderstanding. That alligator was eating that motherfucker. He was not trying to save that man.
Well, there was the newspaper headline that said like, victim takes pictures of attacker or of a murderer or something, and it's just the pictures of the alligator. And he shows his boss, and he's just like, holy Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. So they got to catch the gator. And so they're setting up this whole thing in the sewers where they're sending people down there. They got like barricades on the outside. One dude has a bazooka. My wife goes, a bazooka?
Is that necessary?
Like, what do we do?
A bit much.
Oh, like, so this is when we get the whole, Dr. Kendall shows up and Madison sees her and he's like, oh, what is she doing here? I'm like, trying to help. She's an herpetologist who studies these things. Like,
But she's a lady.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly how this went. Oh, Lord. So the whole operation is pretty much have all these guys go underground in the sewers and make a lot of noise, try to draw it out. The whole purpose for it is to draw it out into the open so that they can kill it. It doesn't work. I do love when they're sitting there at the opening, they're just waiting. They're waiting. And the guy, and you think you're expecting the alligator to come out, but it's just the guys coming out. And then you see the other guys that are aiming in the tunnel just like laughing and like, this fucking Madison guy, he's so dumb. Look at this wasted time.
Of that whole group, before you found this out, how would you like to be like, everybody else is armed. They know there's some serious, at this time, they believe there's some serious shit going on down there. How would you like to be the dude with like the pan? The pan and the stick, or like the trash can?
What am I supposed to do when something actually happens?
It's like you're trying to chase cats out of a house or some shit.
Yeah.
There's a raccoon in my basement. Church?
Damn it.
Oh, so this is when Kendall tells the story that we saw in the beginning of the movie. She's the little girl with the gator. Oh God. So like the whole plan goes bad. So everybody's driving back, and my favorite is these kids are playing baseball in the street. It isn't the cop, the chief, and Madison. They drive up, and the kids like won't get out of the way. They're just like, ah!
Puts the light on top of it.
Yeah.
And then they finally move.
We also have a young Freddy Krueger playing baseball too. Did you see Freddy Krueger out there with the sweater?
No.
One of the kids is wearing this is 4 years before Nightmare on Elm Street even came out, but this kid is legit wearing a Freddy Krueger sweater.
Oh, okay. No, pay attention.
Yeah.
That's where they got his sweater from.
Yeah.
Well, it's the best time to wear striped sweaters
Remember
all the time.
You remember that random baseball kid from Alligator? I like his sweater.
Let's make him a killer.
So this is when we get a surprise alligator through the fucking
Damn you people, noisy did down here in the fucking sewers. I'm just trying to get peace and quiet. I'm going up top.
Oh, it's so good though. It's fantastic. This is where Kane Hodder comes in. I think he was the suit performer for the alligator busting through the sidewalk. So good.
Fuck yeah.
So good. And then of course you have an actual alligator crawling out at the end and crawling down the street with all the awesome miniature work that was done.
Yep.
I just love the kids that are just like standing there like behind the car. Fucking run. What are you doing?
Yeah.
How fast do you think this gator's gonna run? Like listen, alligators can run pretty fast for short distances, but this size, probably not running very fast. But this alligator does travel pretty fast. If you remember,
it could so there is further back, of course, in the lineage of gators. There are species of galloping alligators that had much longer legs that were more directly below them and less built off to the side. So yeah, like think of a more upright quadrupedal alligators, like a horse, like a shark, horse shark or whatever, land shark with horse legs.
Horse shark. All right.
Land shark.
Okay.
Oh Lord. So this alligator just loves eating policemen because you have the cop that's just driving.
Fuck the police.
And he
that was the oh shit. What was the group?
NWA.
Hey there, NWA. They were inspired by this movie. There you go.
All right.
This was the inspiration, dude.
Lord. Why do you always have to make me
I don't feel that. I don't feel that way. I'm just making jokes.
Time and place.
For what? It's a lot of police get eaten in this movie.
They do. I mean, this guy just crashes and then he's like trying to get out of his car and then he gets his leg ripped off by the alligator.
I wonder if the guy before he wrote this script for this just had got a speeding ticket. He's like, you know what? Fuck the police, and then just started having the alligator eat the police.
Listen, the guy that lost his leg just kind of popped off. There was
this is the guy.
It was like
And then there's some guys later that loses both of its legs. That's Stubbs.
Oh, yes. A scene that would later be used in Lake Placid. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy legs.
Oh, Lord. So they find the big footprint. And she's like,
Bigfoot.
Yeah, and Dr. Kendall's like, well, this is not normal. This is like a 30 to 40 foot alligator, which is not possible. But he's like, but it can be.
Betty White doesn't live within miles of this place.
Yeah.
And then we find out there's a new guy in charge. I can't remember his name. Who cares? This guy literally is in the movie for about 5 minutes.
Oh, Hunter Big Dick?
Yeah, Colonel Brock.
What a fuck face, dude.
So I love that there's vendors just selling shit for the alligator, like outside this lake or pond or whatever. It's like Alexander the alligator. And then there's a man who gets arrested because he's trying to sell an actual baby alligator. He's like, like, arrest this man. What are you trying to arrest me for?
Do you think that's the gator? We'll talk about it later. Do
Oh,
you think that's the gator?
Yeah, I didn't think about that one.
It just hit me now, dude. Like an alligator tail to the face.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can see it. Also, this new guy, Brock, he just flirts with everybody. He's like flirting with the news lady. He was flirting with Dr. Kendall. She didn't want any part of it, but the news lady's like, oh, tell me more. And he's like trying to make gator sounds. I'm like, what is happening here? Is this a turn on for you, ma'am? Like, this is weird.
He's like, listen, pretty news lady, I will dick you down right now on fucking local national television. What the fuck it is.
Sir, I have to decline unless you make those gator sounds.
Odd burping noise in his throat.
Oh, jeez.
That really moistens the clam.
Oh, God.
Wait, clams aren't a part of this. Just saying.
Is there a killer clam movie?
Oh shit.
No.
Probably.
I always joke because I think it's Family Guy that does the Delaware clams. I think that was a joke or something like that. Oh no, because they're in Rhode Island. No, there was like a fake. There was a fake football team. They were called the Delaware Clams. So that's like me and my brother's joke every time we're just like fucking around, like talking about like football or whatever. They couldn't even beat the Delaware Clams.
Yes,
they don't even exist.
If you like small town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Oh, God. So they put 2 and 2 together that the alligator is probably getting big because it's eating all of these genetically altered animals that the lab's been experimenting on. So it's kind of
putting all those extra hormones and shit in.
So making them nice and big. They also find out that the all these experiments are done for like to help food shortage. So they're like making animals larger than normal to help the hunger issue. And it's like, all right, but you still got to take responsibility for the things that you're doing. Like, you can't just be like, yeah, we're doing this to help hunger. But yeah, we got a fucking 40-foot alligator out there now? Yeah, it doesn't seem like my problem anymore.
Yeah, and he like, what's the side effect? Well, they become like ravenously hungry all the time.
Yeah. Like,
well, that's a bit of a side effect.
That makes sense. And then, he brings it up to Slade, and Slade pretty much gets Madison fired. But before he leaves, he takes the bomb, in quotation, that from the guy earlier.
Yeah, the evidence room.
Yeah, and he takes a stack of dynamite.
That just happens to be there.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And it's just out.
We'll
it's just
post
like, it's just like on. It's just like on a shelf. The fucking 80s, man.
Yeah. Maybe just walk in and take
evidence rooms. They're just not like they are now. Everything's like lock and key. This is like, we're just gonna throw this right on the shelf, and people can just walk right in. It's fine.
I know, right?
Oh Lord. So Madison and Doc, they go gator hunting.
Gator golf.
We then
Get whacked.
see
Pretty
that
sad that I was in that too.
we find out that Slade's daughter is marrying that doctor from the lab guy. So you get to see them setting up a wedding at the Slade mansion. And the mayor is like we said earlier, he is in Slade's pocket. Pretty much he's talking about if we get caught doing the things we're doing, you're not winning the election. So we better figure this shit out.
Mayor is such a fucking bootlicker, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
He sucks.
This is a scene where I went, damn, they went here. So we're at a little kid's costume party, and these kids are bullying this other kid, or they're just playing. I don't know. It's always hard to tell, but they're making them do walk the plank in the swimming pool. Well, the gator's just sitting there in the pool, and when they notice the gator's there, they accidentally drop the kid into the pool, and the gator just eats him. And I'm like,
as fast
damn.
Yeah.
All right.
As fast as that gator ate that kid, as far as that kid wasn't wearing a police uniform. Keep that joke. He was dressed as a pirate, I think.
He was.
But let's keep the joke going. Or is he a cowboy?
No, he was a cowboy. The other two were pirates.
I bet you had a sheriff's badge.
Probably did. He probably
it's like, that motherfucker's law. And that gator's like, I'm going to get that boy.
Eat him.
Doesn't even chew. Just take a hole.
Oh, God. So this is when we get the just randomness of, Madison and Dr. Kendall have known each other for about 5 minutes, and they sleep with each other. All right.
Engages the buttfuckery.
Oh, man, but there is a line that happens later on that is fucking fantastic, and I can't wait to say it. But yeah, they sleep together. The new guy, he hires some guides to help him kind of navigate the sewers or navigate the certain areas.
Hooks him up with some beer, some money.
Yep. And and then like 5 minutes later, like, yeah, we don't want to be a part of this. And he's like, fine, I'll just do it myself.
Says some incredibly racist bullshit during
absolutely.
this. It's a fucking asshat. No.
But it's okay. He gets his due diligence and gets eaten by the alligator.
Yep.
That's just hiding in the trash, which I thought was hilarious. It's just like you see the alligator's just covered in trash.
He's blending in, dude.
But I do like how you hear the gunshots because he's like, it's one of those like, I see you type thing. And then later you're with one of the guides or one of the guys that he hired, and he could hear him screaming and yelling like, help me. And he like goes around the corner and he just sees it and he's just like, yeah, no, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he
grabs the guy's gun, goes to shoot it, and it either jams or he only had 2 shots in it because there's only 2 shots that are fired. But the dude does score a really nice gun.
Oh yeah, and he gets the fuck out of there.
I'd get the fuck out too. That's payment right there.
So after the lovemaking, they go to a local diner, and they're kind of just talking, and they're getting close because they're sitting on the same side of the booth, which I always found weird. Like even if you're like in a relationship with someone, and you're like getting real close, like why would you want to sit right next to each other? If I want to talk to you, sit across from me. I hate having to sit like this. I'm like eating, and they're like, yeah, yep. No, fucking sit across from me so I can look up instead of look over here. What are we doing here? But 2 cops come in, and you're like, oh, hey, sorry about you getting fired. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And they're like, he goes, oh, so how's Brock working out? And they're like, oh, well, we just found him. We just shoveled him off the ground like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we're working an all-nighter now to try to find this thing. And he just goes from being like super cool, like just having a conversation with Kendall, to just being an asshole. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go. And he's like, yeah, your mom's probably waiting for you. And I went,
such an asshole.
Wow. I don't think that was necessary at all.
Maybe that's just like his PTSD stuff.
That could be.
Kicked in.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I should be in charge of this. This dude shouldn't have died, blah, 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 kind of shit. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because
don't make fun of some think for living with their mom.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
dick.
'cause
But he even says he is. He's like, I'm an asshole.
I don't
like,
remember if she says anything beforehand when he gets all pissed off. I'm not really trying to remember.
I don't know if it was this time, but when she answered the phone, she's like, "Yeah, I live with my mom." Like she's embarrassed.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like when they're in the restaurant. Like, did she say something?
But yeah,
that
I
got
don't
him all
think she
pissed?
says any.
She said something about like, I understand or let me understand. He's like, well, don't understand me too well or something like that.
That's
And
right.
kinda like,
She's just like,
that's kind of how.
All right, well, I guess our 5-minute relationship is over.
Yeah. That was
No, it was totally. I mean, he
his
was
response,
completely
though.
on and wrong on that. I mean, I'm not defending the dude.
Also, didn't we get this is when we get the other hairline joke, wasn't it? Where she's like looking and he's like, yeah, I know I have.
That's when they're laying in bed together.
So I have male
She's
pattern
like,
baldness. Do you have
"Baby."
anything to say about it?
It's like, I'm dealing with it. It sucks.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sensitive about it. All right.
But yeah, he's having nightmares about Kelly's death. And it's weird because he's like having it in reverse.
Yeah, it was super
Where it's
weird.
like, it comes back to him and then then he relives it again. Oh my God. Then this next scene is when he goes to visit Kelly, like he goes to apologize and he meets her mom and she is a riot. She is just out of control. It's so good.
She's something else, dude.
Yeah, she pours him a cup of coffee and like 30 seconds later she's like, would you like some coffee, dear? He's like, I already got some. She's like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh my God. And
she's hyper overbearing.
Oh, absolutely. So he goes upstairs with Kendall and he apologizes, saying like he's a dick and all that stuff. And he's like, I think you're smart. And he's like, and you got glorious tits.
Yeah. Yep. Because that's what he kind of down. It's a great line.
It is.
100%.
It really is.
And he kind of downs on himself, and he's like, when he says her, he's like, I'm sorry. She's like, for what? And he's like, just for anything and everything. And he's like, I'm rough around the edges. He's like, I know I'm a pain in the ass, and it's just, the good stuff's usually worth working for, or something like that. Something along those lines. Which he admits to his faults. He understands, and I imagine being, what he's dealt with probably obviously affects his personality and how he deals with stuff. So. But at least he kind of lays it out for her. He's like, look, I fucked up. This is just how I am as a person. There you go.
Yeah. So, what the hell? Oh, this is when we're on the water, and you just have like the police boats driving around shooting at the alligator, and the alligator turns into a
shot, dude.
That's awful. And for one, I mean, of course, it's a movie, so we got to clarify that first. But in reality, an alligator would just go under. It would go deep under because alligators can hold their breaths for a very, very, very long time. Like 10 plus hours they can hold their breath. Like it's insane. How that might not be accurate, but it's a long time. But this thing is just sitting on the top. He's like, fuck you, you son of a bitch. And it literally turns into a boat ramp with a boat just fucking flies off its back.
Yeah, that's when the guy goes to pull the grenade out of it and like ramps and like drops the grenade into the other grenades. And then the boat flies off onto the beach, explodes. There's a dude. There's like several dudes fall into the water. I just remember this one officer's like hits the water. This is most half-ass swimming ever. And like swim. All I hear is like, it's like pull under the water. Like, wow, great enthusiasm, dude. Is that the only take?
And this is when the other boat. This is when the other boat pulls up and pulls the other cop out. This is where we get gets his legs bitten off. And I'm like, this is the scene from Lake Placid where the guy gets like half his body chewed off in the beginning of that movie. This is where they got it from.
I was a little disappointed. I was hoping it would just be like half of his body.
Oh yeah,
but it was the legs. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is they were probably hiring amputees, and that was like, all right, well, this guy's missing legs, so we got to just have the guy miss legs.
Yep.
So it is now probably one of the craziest scenes of this movie, which is the wedding scene.
Oh my
god!
Yeah.
Everybody's having a good time, and then they get an unwanted guest. And that is a fucking massive alligator. And it eats one of the maids. It just puts her right. And she's like, ah.
Dude,
He said, "This is what you get for not inviting me."
I don't know if this song was written at this time because I don't remember specifically when it was, but I really wanted White Wedding just to play.
Oh, that would have been so good. Yeah, I don't know if that was that out yet. I don't think that song was out.
I don't know. I don't know.
Our research assistant here, Angela, needs to look it up while we talk.
Sorry, some of these things bother me. Like, I need to know this
We're
stuff.
just gonna make Angela the research assistant while we're doing the episode. She's gonna look up all the things that we can't figure out.
I really wish this was on a golf course, so I really could have made the Gator golf reference.
1982.
82. It's 2 years after this. Maybe that was the inspiration.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who fucking sung that song?
Billy Idol.
I don't fucking remember.
Oh my gosh.
Billy Idol. If you ever listen to this, let us know if this was the inspiration for that song.
A nice day for a white wedding.
White wedding. They keep going. The chaos that is.
Oh, it is so good. You got the tails like whipping people around, and people just get thrown into chairs in the pool. It's so good. I love the bride gets knocked into the pool, and you think like she's gonna die as she gets pulled out.
What about the motherfucker that gets hit by the tail and front flips into the cake? Just go boom.
And I went, no, not the cake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we salvage any of it?
No.
Yeah, dude, he got
he got rocked into that cake. But this is this scene, this next shot is so funny. So the alligator is busy with 75 people at this party, right? And Slade goes into his limo and won't let the mayor in. And instead of the mayor just running away, the mayor stands at the car and just bans like, let me in. And then the alligator ends up getting him. And then he
had like a minute and a half, 2 minutes to run.
Oh my God. It felt like an hour. It felt like this man could have been halfway across town by the time that alligator made it to that car. But instead he had to make it like, let me in, he's gonna get me. And it's like, bro, just run. Just run
His
away.
fight or flight response just shut down.
Yeah, and the alligator's eats the maid, but doesn't like eat anybody else. Just kills them. He's like, I'll come back for you.
He had a fucking he had some sort of vendetta against these two guys. Like he knew that they were responsible for his condition, and because he fucks up this limo, he is ruthless, freaking smashing it in. And of course, it kills the driver, and it ends up killing Slade. It just absolutely destroys it. Oh, it's so great though.
It's good.
This and Madison and Kendall, they show up after pretty much everything is over. The gator has left. And
the doctor dies too.
Oh,
that was marrying the daughter. You see him laying there.
Oh yeah,
amongst the bodies. I was like, oh, the doctor guy. I was like, at least he got his.
Yeah.
Unless I was supposed to be somebody else looked remarkably like him, I'm pretty sure it was the guy.
Probably. So this is when we have the showdown with the gator, and it's great. So this is when the explosives that that Madison took from the evidence locker come into play. He goes down into the sewer. He kind of sets everything up, and then pretty much it's the whole like tense situation where he sets everything up, and then he's trying to escape. And he's going through he's trying to get out of one of the manhole covers, but a car drives over the manhole cover and the wheel is on there. And so he can't get out. And then you have Kendall up on the top, like, man, you got to move your car. And the woman's like, it's the delivery truck. I'll move when the delivery truck moves. And she's like, you got to fucking move your car. And so she literally like opens the door and shoves the lady into the passenger seat, gets in there to move the car. And Kendall and then Madison gets out just in time. And I love that you get to see the gator actually explode. You get to like see his head just.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's not like the usual explosion, like where it just gets like the head. It almost like exploded up like
around his neck,
like right around like the base of the neck, like right on the side, and just took it. It was cool shit. Awesome effect.
And that's pretty much how it ends. You have the police chief is pretty much like, yeah, you got your job back. Like we're good. I believed you. Because it was he was like, you believe me now, chief? He's like, I believed you the whole time.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, fuck you.
Whatever.
And you get the final shot of them looking down into the opening there. And then we get our final shot, which is another little baby alligator falling down through the sewer system back into the sewer.
I'm assuming that's the one that we were talking about earlier. The
I'm-
dude selling
yeah.
it on the street. Or in my headcanon, that's the gator.
I'm also wondering if this is the gator that's in Alligator 2.
It could be, or it'll just take place in like California.
Probably.
It'd be an entirely unrelated alligator. Why not?
But yeah, that is Alligator from 1980.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, Parker.
Oh, you're
yes.
good.
In relevance, they actually found a very good sized alligator not very far from where we live.
Wow.
And they're not normally native to this
Nope,
region.
they're
They're
not.
actually migrating further north.
Is it getting warmer?
I'm not sure. I think so. Because like they're more found to the west of where we live, like closer to like central Tennessee and like the plateau. Like when like you would find them occasionally, but like now they're getting closer like to the plateau.
Oh, okay.
Which I think I don't remember how big it was, like 5, 6, 7 feet long, something like that. It's a decent sized gator. I wouldn't want to like stumble across it.
No.
Oh, no.
It's probably because it is getting warmer, because I had to hear about how grizzly bears are going further north and polar bears are coming south or opposite, whichever way they go.
I don't know.
And
it was relevant
they're
to the game.
breeding now.
Yeah.
Breeding together?
Yes.
Interesting.
Causing
We'll have milk chocolate bears?
growler bears or whatever they
Ooh.
call it, growler bears.
That's crazy. Yeah, American alligators used to be endangered. Now they are overpopulated.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that can happen.
Because everybody's focused on killing them deers that are overpopulating too.
Yeah, the deer's overpopulated as well. That's correct.
I have
Bam.
two. I have one funny alligator story, and I have another that was kind of terrifying. So the funny one was, we would go down to Florida all the time as kids, and we would always go to an alligator farm that was like a town away from where my grandmother lived. And the beginning of this place was, it was a bridge. It was like a fence. It was it had like nets on both sides, and you walked in like a catwalk. And it was literally a giant pond, and it was full of alligators. One side had alligators, and one side had crocodiles. And you used to be able to buy bread. You could buy like a loaf of bread, and you could throw them out to the alligators and watch them do whatever. And there was one alligator that was following us, and it was a big one. It was literally following us as we were walking, and my mom was in front of me, or either I was in front of her or whatever. But I stopped and I threw the bread kind of next to where she was, and the alligator jumped out of the water and hit the net, scaring the shit out of my mom, and it was great. It was so funny. It was
That is
so
funny.
Happy
Mother's Day.
The terrifying alligator story I have was my grandmother lived on it was like a 3-part lake. So it was this huge body of water. And I used to like hang out on this dock, and I used to watch alligators literally swimming all over the place. I almost caught one, which was pretty cool. I don't know what the hell I would have done with it, but we were, my stepdad is an avid fisherman, and he would go out there. He had like a little aluminum boat. We would go out and fish, and he was fishing. It was during mating season, or it was during nesting season. So like there was baby alligators around, and he was reeling in his lure, and his little baby alligators following his lure. And we're, at first you're just like, oh, that's cute, that's funny. And then I realized, I'm like, can we go? Because I was like, can we go? This is not good. And he's like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not fine, because Mama's around here somewhere. And no joke,
Yep.
I looked, it was probably about 20 yards, 25 yards away. It looked like a log, but it wasn't a log. It was a big old gator. And I said, can we fucking go somewhere else? We're going to die. This is not a big boat. This gator could come over here and just tip this shit. I don't want to die.
I don't blame you.
The first time we went to Florida, we went through a place that was kind of like, I'm not quite sure what it was called, but there was gators everywhere, and they're like signs everywhere, beware. Well, we get out at this bridge, and we're walking across this bridge, and all of a sudden, my sister-in-law's like, I think there's a gator below us. Sure enough, we're on this bridge that's not about this far from the water. I'm like, yeah, we need to go, because it was a baby. I was like, no, we need to go.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not gonna end well.
Yeah,
I have none.
I mean, we used to. She had a canal that would link to the lake that was right behind her house, and you could hear them croaking all the time, like in the middle of the night. And we would be there. We used to go. It was around like October, which was mating season, I think, for them. So you could hear the males out there. What they do is they like crane their head back and they vibrate the water on their back, and they sound like a fucking dinosaur. Like they just do this really loud roar. It's such an amazing sound, but sometimes it was scary when you're like trying to sleep, be like 2 a.m. and you just hear this. It sounds like a T-Rex is outside your window.
What the fuck?
What the hell, man? Oh man! All right, well, let's talk about our thoughts on this movie. Let's start over with Angela.
Dan told me that we've seen this before, and I know I have, but I only remember certain scenes. But all of those scenes I thoroughly enjoyed. Love the effects of this. Could care less about anybody that's in this movie. Give me more alligators. But yes, what?
You don't finish. It's nothing to do with your saying it. I thought of something.
I still enjoyed it.
You just made me think of that old BBC parody thing with the alligators and the bats. The alligator would shoot like lasers out of its eyes, and the bats would shoot lasers. Oh my god! I need to send that video. It's fucking hilarious,
what?
Dude. It's fucking awesome. I need to find it. It was an old BBC special about these bats that would swoop down and try to get like stuff out of the water. And these, it could be garrels or whatever they call them. Some species of caiman of alligator in South America, and the alligators would try to get the bats to eat them. And then somebody put all these like effects and stuff to fucking sweet. Anyway, but as far as the actual point of this conversation, I really enjoyed this movie. This is again the second time we watched it. I enjoyed it even more this time. Probably going to buy the 4K for it. Yeah. I try not to buy. Usually movies I buy on disc as ones that I try to buy ones I enjoy or ones that I'm really interested in seeing. But this one's definitely on the list. It's worth watching. It's fucking everywhere. You can watch. Like I said, it's on Tubi. It's on. Where'd you say it was, Parker?
Oh, it's on Shudder.
Shudder. Shitload of places have it. Definitely recommend it. But yeah, effects are great. I like Madison as like just a gruff cop character.
Robert Forsters does a great job at what he's supposed to do.
He's fun. I didn't mind the female scientist. Kendall, that's what she was fine. But yeah, it was mainly Madison, the police chief, for like going with each other and shit like that.
Yeah, there was always great conversation.
It was a good time. It's above par, I'd say, for most giant killer animal movies. And I think this was kind of getting to the end of that, because a lot of that was big in like the 70s, like Nature Strikes Back. We had Grizzly, which we covered on with Flicks and Friends, which I wasn't there for, but these two were. Parker and Angela was there. But like, of course, we have a lot of these. I'm going to plug it because Parker will later. But a lot of these killer animal movies are on our list on, oh my God, Monster Zone. I just blanked for a quick second. Yeah, so it's on Patreon. So if you want to listen to more shit like this, it'll be over there. But anyway, yeah, watch the movie. It's great. It's good times.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I came out of this having a good time. I've always been a huge fan of creature features like this, like Placid, Anaconda. Those are some of my favorite movies to watch, like guilty pleasure films. Like, I know they're not good, but they're just fun. And this is one that is, I don't think it's good. I think it's just a fun movie with some really fun effects. I love the mix of the practical, like animatronic alligator mixed with like actual alligators, and Robert Forster kind of just chewing up the scenery. It's, you're not meant to overly care about the human characters in this. You're just like, you get to see people versus animal. And as somebody who grew up, as a kid, I was obsessed with alligators and learning about them, and I wanted to, study them and work with them, when I became an adult. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I still love them, and getting to see them kind of like being portrayed in this way is fun, because Jaws is my favorite movie of all time, and Jaws is a kind of this, this is another version of Jaws, just with an alligator. So you want to give me more of that? I'm sold every time. All right, now we're going to go over to social media and read your comments on the movie that we were talking about tonight. So first, we're going to go over to X/Twitter. And our first comment is from @SP_film_viewers, who said, watched this for the first time a few weeks ago. I think a younger me would have thought this was amazing, but seeing it much later on in my life hasn't left an impression. It's understandable. I could see people kind of seeing this for the first time at an older age and kind of being like, I don't know, not a big fan. But hey, I feel like this is a movie you have to have some sort of history with.
Yes.
Our next one is from @SemiSepticPod. Oh, Jesus, let me read that again. Our next one is from @SemiSkepticPod, who said this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not septic.
I believed it. I was like, it could be. I don't know.
I just don't know how to read. This is one of my all-time favorites and has been since I was about 6 years old. Absolutely love it. I love to hear it. Our next one is
6-year-old going in for that little booba shot. That's what he's there for.
Like,
No judgment.
It's like, I'm not gonna give you the full boob. You're gonna get a little bit of the areola there. You ain't gonna get no nip.
Yeah, just a little bit. Plus, you get all smell again.
The next one is from @CatDaddyVGC, who said, great movie. The tail killing the people in the car at the end was a little cheesy, but overall, it was a great monster movie. Robin Riker did a great job as the sexy scientist and Robert Forster as the manly, 80s manly detective. Yes, we agree.
Fuck yeah. With the hairline issues.
We're not going to go over to Instagram. Our first one is from BP from the Let's Talk Horror channel, who said, I love this movie. Another high concept B movie with a low budget that works big time when it could have been shit. Or shite, as they say over there. Shite. Our next one is from Video Villa Entertainment, who said, this movie was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Definitely a must-watch now, in my opinion. Absolutely. Epic Film Guys just saying that they're going to be screening it at Alamo Drafthouse down in the Washington, D.C. area where he works. So if you live in that area, if you live in the Washington, D.C. area, and you want to check out, I think it's called Terror Tuesdays that Justin does at the Alamo Drafthouse that he works at down there. If you live in that area and you're looking to have a good time watching these oldies, with these new 4K restorations and all that, seriously, go check out the Terror I think it's called Terror Tuesdays with Justin from Epic Film Guys. It's cool. Sounds really cool. One day I would love to be able to go down there and check one out for myself. We got one from Ghoul Commander who just clapping. All right, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Next one is from Alfonso Savala 90038, who said, I've never seen it. I'll have to check it out. Yes, I do say check it out. Like we said,
just keep your
No, go ahead.
I was like, just keep your expectations in check.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely above par for this type of film.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And our last one is from the Cult-Worthy Studios, who said Robert Forster and his sexy hairline.
Fuck yes.
Let's see. Does Threads have any goodies?
No.
That would be a no.
I don't know.
Well, thank you to everyone who left comments over on social media. Make sure to follow us over on X/Twitter, Instagram, Threads. That's usually where I post them. At Dissect That Film, where I post what movie we're going to be covering, usually the day before we record. So leave us your thoughts on whatever movie we are covering. It doesn't even, literally, there are people who comment that they've never seen it before and want to watch it. I'm going to read them because, hey, that's cool. If people are interested in checking out a movie because we're going to cover it, I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty effective. I guess we're doing a good enough job getting people to watch these movies. So yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, make sure to follow us.
Talking to you.
Yeah, we do. So yeah, make sure to follow us on all those places. You can go to our LINKTREE. I never talk about the LINKTREE, but that's literally where you can find every link that I talk about. Just go to linktree.com, or I think it's linktree / dissect that film, or LINKTREE. I don't know how it works, but just go to our LINKTREE in any one of our bios, and it'll give you all the links to the social medias, to the podcast apps that we're on, the Patreon, the merch store, which I never talk about because I'm just terrible at this end of show crap. I shouldn't say crap, but the end of show stuff.
Rigmarole.
The rigmarole. Yeah. Next week. Goddamn. What are we talking about next week, guys? I don't even think we planned on it.
Nope.
Dan, what are we covering next week?
Right now, you just put me on the spot. Fuck. I don't know.
What's the car movie you want to cover?
Oh yeah, shit. I forgot we're bleeding. We're doing the original. Fuck, so 1974. The original Gone in 60 Seconds from 1974, which is a much superior car chase to the Nicolas Cage one.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be next week's episode. We're talking about Gone in 60 Seconds, but from 1974. So that means it's gonna be that's celebrating its 50th anniversary. Dan, did you bring you bring this to the table?
I'm just feeding you.
You are.
Here you go.
Baby.
Here you go. The film was
Cookie Monster for
filmed
movie
in 19. As you are. Like the movie was filmed in 73. All right,
but it was released in 74. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, there you go. You got it. It's all you.
We don't have a guest planned as of right now, so we might have a guest, we might not. But yeah, I'm very excited. So next month of June will be, what are we calling it? Automobile month, vehicle month,
automotive.
Yeah, we got
automotive.
We're gonna have some good ones, but as of right now, all you know about is we're gonna be covering Gone in 60 Seconds next week.
So gonna lay some patch, baby.
It's gonna be great. There's gonna be some
chirp the gears and lay some patch.
Yes. Yeah. So that's cool.
Don't say Brindle because it's stupid.
Yeah. Listen, we're gonna get this. I'm gonna mention this.
No.
What happened?
I said don't say Brindle because it's stupid.
I don't know what that means. Okay.
Yeah. Good. It'll lower your intelligence the moment you find out what it is, which we'll talk about next week.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna bitch about car stuff a lot over the next couple days, next couple recordings, dude. It's gonna be fucking.
It's okay. I can just do.
Well, if you want more fun, extra stuff, you can head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/dissectthatfilm for a single $1. You can support us by dropping that $1. You get extra content such as access to polls, bonus content such as pre-show stuff that we do before a show starts. Today's not as good because we had other stuff going on before the show, so we didn't get as much goodies. But we have.
Oh no, I had a rant.
He had a rant. There's like a 5-minute rant, you guys. You guys will get that. Also, you guys get early access to episodes as early as I can get them out, but you'll get early access to episodes even if they're a couple days. I feel it's it's worth that $1. And if you want to spend a little bit more to get a little bit more stuff, we have a Patreon exclusive show called The Monster Zone, which is hosted by Dan and Angela, where once a month we spin a wheel and we talk about a monster movie. This month, we're talking about Tentacles from 1977. Yes. It might be out already. It might not be. Actually, it'll have to be because I think this will be out by the very end of May. So there's that. But yeah, that's at our $5 tier. So if you want to, help support us financially in any way, you can do that. But if you can't, that's okay because we still love all of the listeners we have out there. You can support us by leaving us a rating and review over on your favorite podcast apps. You can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dissectthatfilm, and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help us out over there because we just became partner. We're YouTube partner. So that's cool. So we get some cool perks. And now we're just looking for the next step. So if you can help us out, go over there and hit that subscribe button because that's cool. I know Nate from Give Me Back My Horror Movies, he does not like when people talk about this at the end of their videos. So this really will show if he listens to our episodes. So
yes,
it's all for you, Nate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
When we tell you, Nate.
Also, since this is this episode will probably be out during the event, but there is an event going on right now called Livestream for the Cure, which is happening from May 29th through June 1st, where we are joining a bunch of a lot of amazing podcasters and people who are just trying to help raise money for cancer research. It is run by the wonderful Nick, who is from Two Peas on a Pod. Nikolai's Kitchen. He's been running a Livestream for the Cure this is its 8th year. So this is cool. And it's our 2nd year participating. We will be part of the show on June 1st from 2 to 3, I believe. So if you want to watch us do whatever the hell we're going to be doing that day, make sure to go over to Livestream for the Cure's Twitch channel and check it out there. And check out all the other amazing people that will be part of that event. It's going to be great. We're trying to raise $25,000 for cancer research. And it's just a lot of fun getting to kind of help out and help raise money and also have a lot of fun with a lot of cool people. So check us out. Check that event out. It's really cool. And yeah, we got anything else that I need to mention? Did I forget anything?
Don't flush your animals down the toilet.
Yeah, don't flush your baby alligators down the toilet, okay? Or just animals, period. I mean, fish if they're dead. Good idea.
Oh, I want to make them a killer goldfish movie.
Oh, that would be so cool. Killer goldfish and the killer goldfish that didn't die. It was still alive and went down.
Yep.
Oh, man, that would be so sick. All right.
Armageddon.
I think that's it. Oh, lastly, I do want to shout out to podcasts that did cover this movie, Alligator, that I've listened to. Movie Dumpster covered this last year, I believe. I think they had an episode on this last year. And then Vintage Video, which is a podcast that I've been listening to a lot. I've actually did a show, started doing a show a little bit alongside their podcast. But they cover all movies from the 80s, and their first season was on 1980. So there's an episode on Alligator from them, and their show is fantastic. So you should check out both those episodes. And then after you listen to ours, of course, because ours is the less superior one.
Yes. So you go.
You thought I was going to put us up. You thought I was going to put us up on some sort of sort of pillar, but I was knocking us down a few pegs.
That's right. That's right. We got to, be realistic on our standings here. All right, folks.
Oh man. All right. I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate all your support. And until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been another episode of the Dissect That Film podcast. We'll see y'all again next time. Bye-bye.
See you later, alligator.
Not for a while, crocodile.